Okay, this is The Real Guardian, and I'm recording the 300 sub special. Last time I looked, we're at 302, and thank you for that. Um, do you know that I also will have another new what if, that what if Deku was infamous second son, conduit, basically. Now, just before we get started, basically, this is what if Issei from High School DxD had Godzilla as a familiar part 1? And the whole reason I'm doing this is because I love Godzilla, I love High School DxD, and it hit me like a truck, and I was like, combine them both on, let's have a blast. So this might become one of my favorites. Not too sure. Okay, now we begin. Now, you may be wondering where this 300-foot plus queen of monsters named Godzilla came from. That's currently wasting the god Loki. Well, in order to explain that, we have to go back to the beginning. See, God created the heavens and the earth. Hey, wait. What is it, Godzilla? We don't need to go that far back. Just before we met, Issei, or you get no cuddle time. Okay, I'll do that. Just don't take away my cuddle time. Okay? So now this story truly starts out with me near my grandparents' house, in a forest in the mountains. We'll be here for 3 months, as I said this with a sigh, knowing it's going to be boring. Issei in this, right now, is 3, and has pitch black hair with brown eyes and is carrying a backpack. As he runs around the forest, as he enters a clearing to see this massive rock cliff off the mountain, that as it goes down to a valley. He then sees something that catches his eye. He's seeing the damp ground as if it rained, but it's not rained in at least a month here. So he decides to follow it. As he gets further and further into the forest clearing clipped area, he finds a cave and he enters it. As he's walking into the cave, until he stops and he sees a gray-looking lizard that was wet. It had spikes on its back, which was weird to Issei. As then he walked up to it as the lizard darted up and shot a laser at him, with Issei thinking, what? It shot a laser at me? As then he got on the ground. As then it walked up to him and was preparing to fire again. As then Issei said, that was so cool. I mean, what kind of creature are you? As he looked at it with stars in his eyes, with it then looking at Issei like he was a complete weirdo. Then Issei pulled out a ham sandwich and split, saying, here, would you like this? And so then slowly walked up and sniffed it. Realizing it was food, ate it. As it was eating, Issei got closer, but not too close, and looked at it to see that it was a very big lizard. It was about the size of his arm. That's kind of weird. As it stopped eating and looked at Issei with gleaming eyes, he then asked, so are you still hungry? It nodded its head. As then Issei feed it the other half, and it wolfed it down as it burped up a laser. Walking up to Issei and nuzzling his hand, as then Issei petted it. He started to play with it throughout the day, and as they did this, he learned it was also very strong, because it crushed a rock Issei was hiding behind when playing hide and seek. This also made Issei learn this creature was very smart. As when it started to get dark, he had to leave, as it was sad. Sorry, one second, my eyes are tearing up. As it was sad he was leaving, he realized it understood, which further confirmed to him that it had high smarts to him. As then Issei said he would be back, as he told it as he would say he would be back. As it then rubbed itself on Issei, he was thinking it must be rubbing its scent on me to mark me or something. And as Issei was walking home and almost got to the house, he tripped and fell down, then looked back to see a golden gleaming gem. It seemed to call out to him. So he then decided just to put it in his pocket. As he did this, a voice inside the gem that Issei could not hear right now said, it seems to have finally been found by someone. For if it's this young boy, he's perfect. His young age will let me cultivate him, plus he is a cutie. So when he desires power, and I sense it will be soon, I'll grant him all of mine. As it laughed a bit. It's the next day as Issei brought extra meaty ham sandwiches with him. Then he finds his new friend as he thought it was still in the cave. As he walked up to it, then he saw it was now just as tall as him. Issei then said, you grew up since the last time I saw you. As it then nodded its head, even licking Issei, showing it was happy to see him. As he said, okay, now are you hungry? As he pulled out 3 sandwiches, as it then smiled and drooled all over the ground. And Issei saying, hey, just let me hand it to you, as it took it with its claws, eating all three at once. Then burping up fire, as Issei thought it can breathe fire too? That's so cool. Then Issei said, wait, if you're as tall as me, you can walk, right? As then Issei helped it stand up. Now, it was wobbling a bit while trying to walk on its legs. As then Issei said, don't worry, I got you, okay? And then he slowly walked with it. Now, they spent most of the day doing this, until it could walk on its back legs, as it showed happiness being able to do that. He then said, okay, I gotta go. Again, as it tackled Issei, curling up on him and giving him a puppy dog look, as he said, okay, it's not dark yet. It's a few minutes, like this. As it then decided to lay down into his lap. As Issei was lost in thought, he then wondered, what the heck is this? It's not just some lizard. I went from the size of my arm to my height in just one day. And then he started to pet on the head. Then realized maybe it's some scientist's experiment that escaped. So I should keep it safe and secret for now, since it seems to trust me, and I don't want to jeopardize that. As we then cut to about 2 weeks later, and he's now meeting it in the valley below the cave, because it's grown to at least 100 feet since then. And Issei's had to teach it can't lay in his lap anymore. It pouts about it all the time. He has to toss the sandwiches in his mouth, and he's now starting to talk to it as it just listens, giving responses, they're not with words, which is helping Issei out getting through this time, which his parents are now worried about him spending so much of his time in the forest. His grandparents tell him it's because he's a kid, he's just playing and exploring. Issei has gotten really close to it, not really knowing if it's a boy or girl. He's thinking it's a girl, personally, but since it could be a boy, being a science experiment, he does not want to assume. And as he finished talking with it, and has been laying on its shoulder for a while, saying, sorry, I can't make a 100-foot sandwich for it. As it shook its head, it was alright. Issei got lightly licked, as he had to teach it not to lick him hard anymore, since last time he got sent nearly flying up 50 feet in the air. Then said, great, now I'm covered in spit as usual, but I know why you do it. You care about me, right? As it shook its head, yes. Then it's saying, it's time for me to go. I'll be back. I just wish I could take you with me. As I said, it's hard to make 100-foot, well, whatever you are, with me now. As he's been talking and been with the creature for the past few days, the golden gem he found glows. And ever since Issei found it, he hid it from his family, since something told him to. Not really knowing why, as the voice of the gem spoke, saying, if he wants to, maybe I should let him make a contract with it. Not really, you'd have to be a devil, but I can override that with my power. But I need to be bonded with him to even do it. And since he picked me up, I've been watching this boy for a while now. He has a very good heart and is sweet. Really my type. He just needs to get power. Thankfully, with my power, it should not destroy or corrupt him because of who he is and how he acts. This is a good sign for me. But I hope that moment comes soon. I'm getting tired of waiting. As we cut to the end of the day, as Issei's rubbing its head, as it uses itself to climb up the cliff and put Issei back. And when it knows Issei is completely gone, it finds a good spot to curl up and go to sleep. As Issei was heading back to its house, happy knowing the day was a good day. Now, Issei has spent this day talking to it, and now it's gotten to end the day as usual. As Issei saying goodbye, as he pats it on the head, and saying, I will be back tomorrow, buddy. As he smiles and walks away. As the beast curls up and goes to sleep, but it's whimpering, as it misses him each time. It seems to wish it could find a way to go with Issei. But shortly after that, we see a man with black wings go, I think I found what I was looking for. That escaped me in that man. As a month has passed, as we see that Issei has come back and is doing the usual talking with him, saying, you know what? I thought coming here was going to be boring, but it's pretty fun having someone to talk to, other than my family, even if you can't speak, What? You know what I say. Plus, I like playing with you. As it then smiles at him. Issei thinking, now he can smile. That's so cool. And saying, I should give you a name at this point. You're my friend after all, right? And then its eyes lit up and shook its head yes. As then Issei was thinking of a name, as then a group of people having now shown up in the sky of all places. Issei was confused. As then most of them said, so you were not kidding, it really is 100-foot tall beast. Marco, as he then said, right, it'd be perfect to tame this beast against the angels and devils, as he then smiled. Then seeing that Issei was on its shoulder, once this beast saw it, it instinctively, put Issei down by its feet and was shielding him. As he realized, great, it must have been tamed by him. Whether he has a contract with magic or not, let's just kill it. It's a waste of my time if it won't obey me. As he then gave the order, shocking them all, but when he pointed at the boy, they all understood why. He must have tamed it, so it's useless to them. As Issei was seeing these angels with black wings flying down using various methods of attacks, such as stabbing his friend with spears of light, it seemed, making weird circles that caused fire, ice, lightning, and other elements to come out. Now, using weapons like swords, guns, and staffs. And during this, Issei realized again that his friend was in so much trouble. As he was trying to fight back by swatting at them, firing lasers, and even shooting fire at them. But soon, they all together made some weird circles again, as then these chains came out and binded it. As they then started to pound my friend even harder with their attacks, as it was screaming in pain and agony, as this was so devastating to it. As then one angel said, my name is Marco, and to you little boy down there, I'm going to kill you next. As then 12 wings sprouted from his back, as he readied a final attack. Now Issei in his head at this particular moment was seeing his friend get hurt and was about to be killed. Then it filled him with the power of feeling powerless. It filled him with the feeling of being powerless. Sorry, my excuse, read that wrong. And he wanted to save his friend with all his might, but he has nothing. As then he got angry and was screaming out to himself that he wanted power to fight, to defend, to help, and protect what he treasures most in this world and what he loves. Then the golden gem hiding inside the house said, finally. As then as it glowed like the sun appearing in front of Issei. As then the bright light then flashed before his eyes, as he then finally heard a female voice say, so, do you wish to save your friend? As Issei's being taken to where his soul is housed in his own body. He said, a black dragon serpent with golden eyes and having over 28 wings around its bodies, then tightly wraps itself around Issei, saying, if you agree to be my first partner in all aspects, I will allow you to use my power without a price, just this once. Afterwards, you need to train it, though. Then Issei looked up, saying, if you let me use your power to save my friend, I'll be your partner in whatever you want. I'll even give you my own life, if that's what you desire. And then the dragon smiled, saying, a partner is more than enough for me. But it's good to know you're willing to pay such a price for those you care for. I will grant this friend of yours my protection, so you can go all out, and if you die, I will keep it safe for you, ensuring that it never knows pain, sadness, or sorrow. But this will only be done for this friend, since it has allowed you to awaken me. So now, you must use all your emotions, for this is the fuel of our power. So now say these words with me, little one, for they will release all your bindings. As Issei outside near the rock cliff at the end of the valley, where he was being shielded by his friend, even with the chains, it was only thinking of him. As a black aura started to bellow and erupt around and out of Issei, then he just subconsciously walked out from his friend's protection. This caused all the angels and even Marco to stop attacking, and being confused, saying, that human boy, what's going on? This power can rival the Almighty. No, I'm wrong. It could rival creation. For that power, Then Issei sang this chant aloud. I, who awaken to the power of Absolute, am who is the god of dragons, who has stolen the principles of divine from all of creation. I laugh at gods and I devour creation. I shall become the black dragon of divine, and I shall devour all into nothingness, to a black void paradise. Into a black void paradise. Sorry. Divine Dragon Drive. As then he's seen in the thumbnail, basically this right here, but it's having gold instead of red. As then he's standing up, as the angels go, "What the hell is that, Marco?" He starts to scream, "Run, get out of there, this is the end of the world itself," because he can sense it, as if this power was meant to destroy all and devour everything it touches. As then Issei, this new form, screamed out the words "devour" many times. Over and over again the word "devour" was said, as the trees, the water, and the very ground, and the life force around him started to be devoured into nothingness, as it more and more disappeared, as it finally said "explosion," as then these black magic circles with golden rings around them formed around him as he said, "Dark Dragon shot," as then he shot out all these black orb bullets, killing a large amount of the angels as they turned them into nothing, as they never dared to begin with. Marcus screaming, "No, no, 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 no. There's no chance in heaven or hell to win. Okay, the rest of you fire those spears of light, everything at it, so I can escape and inform the general of this. It is the Void Dragon. It truly does exist." As then they say, "Yes, sir." As then they fly in, charging with everything they have at it. As he sees there, it's just taking the light spears and magic and all of their weapons they're using as it's cutting, bleeding him, and piercing him. As he just says, "Divine devouring dimensions." As then he raises his hand, and then the angels that were attacking him disappear, and everything they threw at him was gone. And as the damage he had taken, then completely healed. As he then said, "Explosion." As in the black dragon said, "Now grab that Marco Angel bastard and use him to heal your friend," as she laughs with glee, knowing that she's free and that he's truly powerful enough to handle this power even when she's helping him. It truly makes her smile. As then he flies forward at speeds that surpass light itself, as he then grabs the fleeing angel, returning to his friend just as fast, as he says "devour" multiple times over and over again, as he's doing this slowly, as he's completely turning the angel to nothing, as his final words were, "The general will kill you and take that power for his research," as then he finally disappeared. He then sang "devouring heal," as in a black circle of magic with golden rings around it appeared in front of him, as it healed all of his friend's wounds. Then he devoured the chains, but it caused him to power down finally, as he collapsed on the ground, barely awake. The black dragon saying, "Use this spell. It will accept you, I know it." As then a new black magic circle with golden rings around it appears above him. He then saying these words basically as autopilot. "You are now in this contract, for I give you the name Godzilla." As then the circle disappears and a black and golden light consumes his friend. As the dragon saying, "It's now your familiar." As he finally asks, "So what is your name and what are you?" She then responds with, "I am the dark black devoid emperor. I am the dark black devouring emperor, our god, the void dragon, who now resides within your soul, young Issei Hyoto. The rest, my power has taken a lot out of you." As he goes to a deep sleep. As then the dragon said, "This has now set his fate in motion. He now holds the fate of creation in his hands." As the dragon then slumbers as well. He then wakes up. It's about a complete day later, since it's almost nighttime again, as he being cuddled by a small girl his age. As he realized what's going on, darting his eyes open, wonder what happened. It He realized it was morning, and he could see he's all wet, thinking it must have rained shortly after he had passed out. Then looking down at the girl, then saying, "Wonder what's going on." As he realizes he's in the cave at the top of the cliff, with a female voice saying, "That's Godzilla. Since now you're familiar, she has a human form. It seems she had such a strong desire to be with you that it happened this quickly and early." So then Issei went, "Wait, who are you?" She said, "How could you forget me, you horrible man?" And she starts to cry as Issei then calm, tried to calm her down, and then saying, "Wait, I think you said your name was Argod," with her chiming in, "Yes, and I'm very upset that you forgot me that quick." As he then apologizes, saying, "To be honest, yesterday's completely a blur. I don't even remember what happened." Then Argod said, "Don't worry, I will show you to you later because I need to explain some stuff." And then Godzilla woke up and she rubbed her eyes. He then sees she has these golden yellow eyes. As he also sees that she has this very dark gray hair that's almost black as it reaches down to her feet. She was a perfect 10 even at this age, Issei thought. And she then tackled Issei to the ground, saying only the word Godzilla over and over again. And he's saying, "So do you like the name Godzilla then?" And she then shaking her head furiously, "Yes, yes, yes," and giving a pretty smile as Issei blushed as he finally realized she's naked. Oh crap. Oh yeah. Right. You only had your skin and clothes. You didn't have any clothes. And she then gives him a very confused look. And then he realized again, wait, why are we not in the valley? I got saying I sent both of you up here after it started to storm. It was a very bad one. Your parents are nearby and they're completely worried. So, you might want to come up with a cover story and quick. So then he turns to Godzilla saying, "Don't worry, I'm taking you back to my house, and you're going to be with me from now on." And she then smiles brightly again. So then Issei's parents show up with them having tears in their eyes as they see he's still alive, saying, "What happened?" As then Issei said, "See, sorry, when it was storming, I took shelter in this cave, but as I was getting here, I found her," as he pointed to the girl cuddling his side so tightly. As he said, "Her name is Godzilla. It's the only thing she can say right now, too." As then she perked up, saying, "Godzilla," as she cuddled Issei hard. Then he's saying, "So I thought it'd be best to stay here until it blew over. I passed out sadly. When I woke up a little while ago, I was going to leave, but you guys just showed up before I could. So, can we take her in?" As they both said, "Of course, she's so cute and adorable. She'd be a perfect daughter-in-law for you later. For us later." This has caused Issei to blush a bit. And his dad said, "Godzilla. Not a good name for a girl like her." As then she got up and was completely furious. She then kicked him in the balls and then bit him on the hand and was not letting go. As Issei was trying desperately to get her off, saying, "Godzilla, let go. You're being a bad girl right now. This is my family." And then she finally let go after hearing that and started to cry. And then Issei said, "Shh. It's not your fault. You just didn't know." It's Issei's mom then pointing out, say, "Honey, you know you should never say that to any woman. Plus, it's most likely she got left here and she has no memory for that one word. So it's special to her. And I love that name. Makes her sound like the queen of monsters. So when she grows up even more beautiful, as she gets older, it keeps the boys away." And then she walks up and helps pick both of them up, saying, "Come on, your grandparents are worried." As they get back to their house, as then they come running out, thanking Buddha, as seeing Issei is completely okay. They both then see the young girl saying, "Who's that?" With Issei's grandfather then thinking, then saying, "I like her. She's my kind of girl." Naked. As he gives a perverted smile, as then Issei's mom and grandmother smack him as hard as they can, saying he found her while taking shelter. Her name is Godzilla. That's the only thing she can say. But before she could finish this. Issei's grandfather said that's not a good name for such a beautiful young girl, as they sighed as Godzilla was so furious again that she jumped down, also kicking him in the balls, biting him, but this time letting go, so when he dropped down, she headbutted him as hard as she could, causing probably a light concussion as she got really pouty. As then Issei's mom and grandmother tried to console her. As they were saying, Issei, we'll take her with us, and you go get a bath so you don't get sick. But first, take this. As then he was handed a bath key. His grandmother was saying, okay, I will go with your mother, grandfather, and father to get clothes made for her, okay? I think Godzilla was fighting furiously back, to the point where she threw them all aside with complete ease, which shocked them, as she bolted towards Issei and clung so tightly to him as she was shaking, scared. It was him saying, they're just trying to help you, okay? They're having to get you measured for some clothes so we can talk and I can handle you holding me more. And also, it's a nearby neighbor, so you'll be back very, very soon. So please, can you just trust him long enough for me? And then she nodded her head and walked over to all, patting each of them on the head. They looked at her confused. But Issei said, I was doing this to her last night when she was crying. I think she's trying to say she's sorry. They all nodded, and getting up and realizing they really should be careful with this girl because she has some monstrous strength. As then they left with her. And Issei walked back in, finding a change of clothes. As his grandparents actually own a hot spring, but they only rent it out during the weekends to get some extra money. So for Issei and the rest of his family, they get their own private hot spring for 5 days. Issei went in to take a bath, and while he was getting finished washing himself, Argon finally said, okay, while they're still gone, let's talk about what happened to you. And she really quickly then flashes to a fight that Issei had before him, with her saying that form you were using was incomplete form. The name of the power for the form is Divine Dragon Drive. Just don't say that over again or you'll turn into it from now on. Normally when you use this form, it costs us energy as stamina, but generally as life force, as it shortens your lifespan. But I was able to negate it just this once with the life force you stole. I could only do it once, sadly. You need to be in the complete form for it normally to work that way, where you don't lose life force, and you only lose mainly stamina in the process. Generally, also, this power makes the user go crazy and insane, since generally you feeds off the negative emotion of the past users or people that have used my power. But since you're the first, there's no issue there. So you don't have to worry about going insane if you ever have to use that power. But as I said before, you need to be careful with it. But you also need to start learning how to use my power without needing the full might of it. Okay? As Issei then nodded his head, saying, okay, I'll start learning. As she then pointed out, but it's best for you to rest the next few days because of what's happened. Also, remember, Godzilla's now your familiar. You have to teach her how to control her power and strength as well. He's saying he will, and he promises that he will become stronger. Okay, that's the end of this What If. I hope you guys really enjoy it, because like I said before, High School DxD and Godzilla are like two of my favorite things, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm also sorry about this script being a bit longer than the other one. I'm realizing that even though I'm only writing scripts, I'm actually learning how to read them a little bit quicker than normal. But I hope you guys enjoy this one. This is The Real Guardian, signing off.